Yourselves?
Oh, hi, yeah, I'm Gary Monaghan. I'm part of the Owlthorpe Fields Action Group team. I've lived in the area, well, in this particular area, for about 16 years, and sort of marvelled in how it's transformed from what was just a grassy field, prime for building line, probably really well suitable to be built on.
And you're our treasurer, Gary, as well.
Oh, I'm the treasurer, yeah.
The man with the money.
The man with the money.
The man with the money.
Yeah. And now it's just developed. Nature's developed into, like, you know, into transformed into a totally unsuitable place to build, because as you can see, it's you know, the trees are just romping up, and it's just transformed into we just look to the future and think, if we have another 10 or 20 years, it really is going to be a mini Sherwood forest here. And you know how criminal it is to concrete over this area, to just kill off all that's happened. And when you live here, you see all the wildlife, you know, in the evenings, any time of the day. It's you know, where's that wildlife going to go? Is it just going to pack its suitcase and move to another part of Sheffield? It's not. It's going to die. It's going to, without doubt, it's going to get killed off. So it'd be such a shame.
So I'm Claire Baker. I'm chair of Owlthorpe Fields Action Group. Obviously been involved with the group since 2018 when the land got put up for sale. This particular bit of land got put up for sale, and we fought hard, you know, with facts and facts really why it should be saved. You know, 23 years of rewilding, and I think there's probably near enough 100 trees on here, 1,000 trees on here. There's so many different wildflowers. They meet the grassland habitat for Sheffield, and it's one of the priority habitats that Sheffield Council have got for low-level grassland habitats, and it would meet the criteria to get a local wildlife site. But sadly, obviously, planning permission has been granted now, and that can't happen. But the other two plots that we're trying to save, C there and D there, we're trying our hardest. They're currently allocated for housing, and same as this one, it was allocated back in 1998. But things changed so much in 25 years, and it's remained in that allocation because there's been no updated local plan. And we were fighting really a losing battle because it was allocated for housing. Does that make it right? Clearly not, because it's changed since 1998. But these two plots remain in the local plan, which is currently being updated by Sheffield Council, and we're hoping that by raising awareness and logging the wildlife that's here, and you know, putting the facts forward, and again, these two plots meet the local wildlife site criteria for grassland habitat. They have all the indicator species, and we've got orchids and all sorts of flowers present on here. So we're waiting to hear when that will go in front of the wildlife panel. It's a panel of people that make that decision whether or not it can be allocated. So we've until the new local plan is done, this remains allocated for housing, and we're hoping that Sheffield Council will make a commitment not to sell them until that point, and that when the new local plan is out, that there'll be a fair consideration going forward, that actually the wildlife and the nature, especially after the council have declared a nature emergency in the last few weeks, that they realise they realise the value of these fields, and try and save them, and that's what we're going to focus on. We feel that there's probably very little we can do now to stop this. You know, Avon Homes have got planning permission. We went to the appeal, we tried our hardest, and the planning inspector chose to believe Avon Homes' evidence over our own evidence, and that's his right to do. We see stuff here 24/7. They have visiting ecologists that come for a certain amount of the year. I'm not saying that what they did was incorrect. They've done everything that they were supposed to do within the rules. Do the rules need changing? Quite possibly, you know, but that's another discussion altogether.
So I've just been on a long walk with you around the site. How big is this site? It seems massive.
The three fields together are 20 acres. So this bit here that Avon Homes are going to develop is about 8 acres. and then the other 2 plots together make up the balance. But there's obviously, you know, that there's a big attenuation pond going at the bottom of plot D, and that's taken up quite a large area. And then there's a play area that's going to be positioned up on site C, so that's a bit of site C that's also going to be taken. But yeah, there's about 20 acres in total, so by the time the development is done, there'll probably be about 10 acres left, and that's what we're fighting to save.
Can't emphasise how much wonderful wildlife there is here. On the walk I've seen buzzards. I think I saw a kestrel. I'm not an expert on birds. I think it was a kestrel.
Yeah, nesting nearby, yeah,
and lots of different butterflies and bees and creepy crawlies of all sorts.
there's all sorts here.
Stoats, weasels.
Yeah, stoats, there's weasels. We think we've got water voles down in the bottom near the bridge. Yeah, there's loads of protected birds, 84 species of birds, probably about 20-25 of those are red listed.
Can I just interrupt there? In May, Pete Brown, who's a sort of specialist in bird watching, I went on a walk with him, and this is his report. This is what was sighted on the day. Common
Sheffield
buzzard,
Bird Study Group.
yeah, kestrel, sparrowhawk, pheasant, stock dove, wood pigeon, collared dove, swift, skylark, wren, dunnock, robin, blackbird, song thrush, white-throat, lesser white-throat, blackcap, chiffchaff, willow warbler, goldcrest, blue tit, green tit, magpie, carrion crow. The list goes on, and a total of 31 species recorded during the walk, and that was just a 2-hour walk.
That was just one walk.
Yeah.
But there's probably about 84 species recorded here, and said there's about 25 of those are amber and red listed by the RSPB. So, but we regularly see buzzards, kestrels, the barn owls, tawny owls are heard. Yeah, it really is quite a special place for birds and invertebrates and butterflies, as you've seen. And it's not just butterflies, as we've been moth trapping, and the amount of moths and different types of moths is just unbelievable.
Well, thanks ever so much for talking to me. Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.
And all the rest of the future.
Thank you.